Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be sharing why the 90s are my favorite decade for film. Now before I share you why the 90s are my favorite decade for film, feel free to share your favorite decade for film down below in the comments, and let's begin. So the reason why the 90s are my favorite decade for film, and it used to be the 80s, but now I lean to 90s, is because one, it's obvious a lot of my favorite movies come from the 90s. And now, why are my favorite movies from the 90s? Partially because I think it does a great job at balancing a little bit of darkness. Like, I like when my movies are a little bit dark and entertainment. Like, it still is entertainment, even if it's tackling some subjects. And even if it's like really dark, it still like doesn't like take away from the entertainment. Like Seven is a great example. That movie can get really dark, but it doesn't rip away from its entertainment. Now, but the entertainment also doesn't overshadow it. It actually will still take itself seriously even during those like really dark moments. So that's part of the reason I like my 90s movies. Like Terminator 2, great action film. One of my favorite action movies ever. It can get a little bit dark, but it's also really entertaining. And like, also, and like, even if it's like not as entertaining, like there's a lot of great stories in the 90s. So like, I feel engaged, even if like my story isn't my favorite story ever. So, like, that's part of the reason, like, why the 90s reign supreme for my favorite decade of film ever. Also, on top of that, it is just, it just has some of my favorite movies ever, so, and, of course, like, for what I just said, those are why a lot of my favorite movies come from the 90s. Especially, like, in my, like, top 10, I think more than half of my top 10 list is probably filled with 90s movies. We'll see when I do my top 50 list, which will be happening in June after like school ends and like I see some movies for like 2 or 3 weeks in the summer, and then I'll do my top 50 list this summer. And yes, so that will be coming eventually, and then maybe I'll update it every few years when I see more movies, but yeah, like the 90s I think are a real special time in film. I wish I was alive in the 90s to see all these awesome stories in the 90s. However, I did see a lot of these 2010 and 2020 movies as it arrived, and there are a lot of great movies from every decade, from the 80s onwards. And even in the 70s, I haven't seen enough 70s movies, but there's a lot of there's some great ones in the 70s. But like, even the 2020s, a lot of people like to hate on current movies, but there's still a lot of great movies in the 2020s. Now, of course, there's probably bad movies in every decade, but there's also great movies in every decade. And maybe I'll do like a decade ranking where I rank every decade, maybe from the 20s to the current, from the 1920s to the 2020s, once I see at least probably 50 movies from every decade, which I think there's decades where I could already check that, but there's decades where I'm going to at least have to see some movies. Or maybe I'll just like rank every year for film. We'll see, but I actually do want to try to do that eventually. Anyways, thanks for watching. Feel free to share your favorite decade for film down below in the comments. And I cannot wait to do more videos. And I am excited to do my 31 and 31 at the end of the month. I actually might have to hold off on the Snyder Cameron Nolan one, but if I can't do that, I'll do that on the May 31st, and then I'll do a different one on March 31st. Anyways, thanks for watching, and also feel free to vote for my Google Forms down below in the comments for your top 5 favorite movie villains for the fan vote. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.